We will not allow Warren County to become a dump site.
The fight for environmental justice took off in 1982, when residents of Warren County, North Carolina, mounted mass demonstrations against a plan to dump contaminated soil in a landfill in their community. The EPA investigated 4 similar landfills in southern states and found that they were all located in Black or low-income neighborhoods.
Of the 9 million people living near a hazardous waste site, 56% are people of color, and Black Americans are 3 times as likely to die from air pollution. These stats are evidence of what the larger movement would call environmental injustice or environmental racism. It's no accident that these communities have industry in their backyard.
Everybody was family. And now, everybody's dead that I grew up with. Their families, their parents are dead.
It's heartbreaking because I knew the life that was in these walls, you know? And now there's no life in the walls.
Andre West grew up in this house in the 5th Ward, a historically Black neighborhood in East Houston. For years, residents here suspected that the number of cancer cases was unusually high.
It's sad. This is Death Valley to me now, where it used to be we were so happy. Running around the yard, playing ball, kickball, riding in the little red wagon. We was happy. You got to find your own way, you know, because everybody's gone.
Last December, their worst fears were confirmed. A cancer cluster was discovered in their community. The state of Texas concluded that the 5th Ward and a nearby neighborhood called Kashmir Gardens had higher than expected rates of certain cancers.
In 1987, the United Church of Christ Racial Justice Commission found that around the country, hazardous waste facilities were more likely to be located in mostly minority communities. Amid mounting proof, the federal government was forced to act.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush.
So in 1992, President George H.W. Bush founded the Office of Environmental Justice inside the EPA. 2 years later, President Bill Clinton signed an executive order requiring federal agencies to consider environmental justice in all of their policies, as well as extending civil rights protection to environmental discrimination. But Congress never passed a bill to make Clinton's executive order law. Then came George W. Bush. His administration shifted the focus of the Office of Environmental Justice from protecting low-income and minority communities to all people, leaving vulnerable populations without a federal environmental advocate.
80% of New Orleans, including much of downtown, is underwater.
Under Bush, many environmental civil rights claims were rejected or delayed for years. In 2009, after President Barack Obama's election, his administration recommitted to environmental justice.
Generally speaking, in this country, a lot of environmentally problematic facilities tend to be located in places where poor folks live.
Yet, during the 2 years Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House, they didn't file a single bill focused on strengthening environmental justice protections.
We're not breathing the same air. We are breathing hazardous air, harmful air. We shouldn't have to suffer this way.
Situated just miles from a key marker of the civil rights movement, residents say they're now facing a different form of racism: environmental injustice.
Uniontown is so engulfed in love, so much love that it is painful. And it's painful because of what's happening there.
The population of Uniontown is almost 90% Black and has a per capita income of just $10,934. And they say that's the reason they have been fighting battles against a local dump accepting coal ash and an antiquated sewage system with little help from local or state government for years.
So they say you are free in this world, but it seems like some of the things that are done to us are still blacks, and people live in poverty is still modals, it's just environmental racism.
I mean, everything that goes around here is a civil rights issue. I mean, anything from the lagoon to the landfill to the cemetery, everything is a civil rights issue.